Hello to all students. I hope you are doing fine. Today we are going to discuss anatomy of human eye. The structure and function of different parts of human eye. First of all, we will look at the diagram of human eye. Human eye is protected in three ways. First of all, our eye is protected by a socket present in our skull, which is known as eye socket. Eye socket is a depression present in the skull and it protects our eye, which is very sensitive part of our body. The second protection which takes place, that is with help of eyelids. Eyelids are muscular protections which are present on the front side of our eye, upper eyelid and lower eyelid. These eyelids protect our eyeballs from the harms of the environment. It also blinks during a reflex, and eyelids and eyelashes protects our eyes from dust particles, small insects and dryness. The third protection which takes place for our eyeball are lacrimal glands. Lacrimal glands are tear producing glands which are located under the upper eyelids, which produced water which is known as tear. This water tears contains some enzymes like lysozymes which helps our eyes to protect from viruses, bacteria and some fungi. So in this way we are protected from microorganisms. If there are no tears, our eyes can be infected by microorganisms and there could be an infection in our eyes. And they also lubricate our eyes and protect our eyes from rubbing of eyelids. Eyelids also blinks to spread a thin layer of water on the front surface of our, so that our eyes could not be dried, to avoid the dryness, because it is very essential that our eyes get lubricated all the times. So in this way, three ways our eyes is protected. Now let's look at the structure of our eye. Below the eyelid on the front side there is a thin membrane which you can see in this diagram in the blue color. This layer is known as conjunctiva. Conjunctiva is the outermost layer of the eye in front of the eye. This layer protects our eye from dust, from microorganisms and small insects which are coming or attacking our eyes. Under the conjunctiva, if there is infection in the conjunctiva, the condition is called conjunctivitis and our eyes become red and painful. Under the conjunctiva there is another layer which is known as cornea. Cornea is a small portion of eye. It is a colored portion of our eye which you see all the eyeball is white, but in the front the colored portion of the eye is known as cornea. Cornea admits light in our eyes because cornea is transparent. Under the cornea there is a small chamber which is known as anterior chamber. Anterior chamber contain a fluid which is known as aqueous humor. Behind the anterior chamber there is a posterior chamber which is contain also a fluid which is known as vitreous humor or vitreous chamber. Now let's look at some layers on the back side. The outermost layer of the eye, which you can see in the black color, that is known as sclera. Sclera is made up of connective tissue which protects inner parts of our eyes. On the average, all the white color of the eyeball is sclera. Sclera is protective on the back side, but on the front of the eye it will become cornea which admits light into our eyes and it is transparent. The second layer which you can see in this diagram, that is known as choroid. Choroid is in dark in color and absorb extra light which is coming towards our eye. But as you can see in this diagram, choroid when comes in front of the eye, they form a rod like structure which are known as iris. There is an iris on the lower side and one on the upper side. These two irises form a small hole in the eyes which is known as pupil. This is a small opening which admits light into the eyes. Just behind the eyes there is a lens which is known as convex lens. The innermost layer of the eye is retina. Retina, as you can see in the red color, this is the innermost layer. It is very sensitive and it contains some specialized cones and rod cells which are sensitive to light. On the back side they are sensitive to receive light, and on the front side of the eye they form a body which is known as ciliary body. One ciliary body on the top and one ciliary body on the bottom. These ciliary body contains some suspensory ligaments which hold the lens in place. And just behind the lens there is a cavity filled by a fluid which is known as vitreous humor. So this is overall anatomy of the eyeball. On the behind of the eye there is a nerve which is known as optic nerve, which is going towards our brain in the cerebral cortex region of the brain. This optic nerve also contains some blood vessels, central artery and central vein. Central artery divides into arterioles and then into capillaries and supplies blood to all parts of the eyes. The blue color are veins which are known as central veins. These veins bring back blood from the eye. There are two muscles attached with the eyeball. One is known as inferior rectus muscle and one is superior rectus muscle. There are other 6 muscles also which hold the eyeball with the eye socket and helps in the movement of our eyeball. Now let's look at the function of all these parts of the eye. First of all, conjunctiva. Conjunctiva is the outermost layer which protects the eye. Second part is ciliary body. Upper ciliary body, lower ciliary body. These ciliary body holds the lens in place because they are holding lens. Cornea is the outermost layer which refracts light into the eye. Pupil is a small opening behind the cornea that admits light into the inner portion of the eye. Lens is just behind the pupil. It refracts and focuses light. Its convexity changes when we are seeing far object or near object. Its convexity changes and it focuses light on fovea, which is a point where rods and cones are points present. Upper and lower iris which regulate light entrance by making the pupil smaller or larger. Aqueous humor, which is a fluid present in the anterior chamber, it refracts light and put light into this hole. Suspensory ligaments holds the lens in place together. Vitreous chamber also refracts light. On behind, sclera protects our eye. Choroid absorbs stray lights. Retina contain receptor cells and receives light. Fovea centralis contain region of cones where light is focusing right here. Central artery and central vein are for blood supply. Optic nerve transmit impulses towards brain. Now let's talk about retina and image formation. Whenever we see some object, the light waves enter into our eye and fall on this point which is known as fovea centralis. Fovea centralis contain 2 types of cells, rods and cones. Rods are specialized cells which are present in our fovea. There are 130 million rod cells present in our fovea centralis. This is the structure of a rod cell. It has 4 regions. Outer segment which contains some disc which contains some pigments known as rhodopsin. The lower part is known as inner segment. Inner segment contain mitochondria and cytoplasm. Below the inner segment there is a part which is known as cell body which contain nucleus, and at the bottom of the cell there is a synaptic ending through which neurons coming from our brain or nerve from optic nerve are attached with synaptic ending. These rod cell, the function of these rod we will discuss in detail later on. The second type of cells present in our retina are known as cone cell. There are 7 million cone cell present in the fovea of our eye. It also has 4 regions. Number 1, outer segment which contain disc. These discs contain a pigment which is known as iodopsin. The lower region is known as inner segment which contain mitochondria. Below the inner segment there is a cell body and nucleus. which contain nucleus, and at the bottom there is a synaptic ending which is attached with the optic nerve, neurons coming from the optic nerve. Now what is the function of these rod and cone cells? If we look at the function of these rod and cone cells, the rod cells contain a pigment which is known as rhodopsin. Rhodopsin is a protein which is type of opsin protein. If we look at the meaning of the rhodopsin, rhodopsin is a Greek word. Rhodo means rose because it is pink in color, while opsin used for vision. Rhodopsin contain opsin, which is a protein, plus 11 cis retinaldehyde, a compound which is formed by vitamin A. Both of these join together to form a molecule which is known as rhodopsin. Rhodopsin breaks in bright light and it is recycled into rhodopsin again in dim or dark light. And it is very important to see in dim light. Whenever we are seeing in low light or dim light or in the darkness, we see everything which is gray, and we can see the gray color of everything. So it is very helpful in the night vision, but during daylight or bright light it does not work and does not helps to see in the light. The second pigment is known as iodopsin, which is present in cone cells, present in the fovea. Cone cells, if we look at the meaning of the iodopsin, iodo mean violet because iodopsin mean vision. It is also Greek word which means it has violet pigment. This protein is made up of opsin and retinal, which is also obtained from vitamin A. Both of these together make iodopsin. Iodopsin are of three types, one for each primary color: iodopsin for red color, iodopsin for blue color, and iodopsin for green color. And these iodopsins helps present in cones helps us to see in the bright light in different colors, and we can see different shades of the blue, green and red colors. So in this way, these both cells, rhodopsin and iodopsin, helps us to see in bright light and dim light. If there is a deficiency of vitamin A, there will not be enough rhodopsin in our body and the person will be unable to see in the darkness or dim light, and the condition is known as night blindness. But this disease can be controlled by taking vitamin A. But if with the deficiency of vitamin E, if there is not enough production of iodopsin, then a person cannot distinguish between the colors green, red and blue, and the person will become color blind. It is also a genetic problem. Sometimes a person genetically cannot see blue, green or one of the colors due to the problem in the iodopsin, and the condition is called color blindness, which cannot be treated by taking vitamin A. But vitamin A deficiency can lead to blindness at any age and weakness of the eyesight. Now if we look at the function of the pupil, as I already mentioned that iris is a muscles layer of the cells which make a hole which is known as pupil. Pupil admits light into the eye, inner part of the eye. Now I have made a diagram for you. This is a diagram of an eye. This is dim light and this is eye in bright light. Our pupil contain two types of muscles, which is known as circular muscles and radial muscles. When we are seeing in dim light, the circular muscles are relaxed and radial muscles are in contracted form. When circular muscles are relaxed and radial muscles are contracted, our pupil become wide and more light can enter in our eye, so that we can easily see in the dim light. But during the bright light, our circular muscle present in the eye are contracted and radial muscles are relaxed, and the opening of the pupil becomes narrower, so that less light enters in our eye. So in this way, during dim light and bright light, our pupil size changes to adjust the light, because pupil which is opening formed by the iris helps to regulate the eye light to enter in our inner part of the eye. If a person is dead, you can also check his death or her death by putting light into her eyes and check if her or his pupil are contracting and relaxing, then he or she is alive, otherwise he or she is dead. So doctor usually check or confirm death by putting light into the eyes of a dead person. So in this way, students, we try to understand some anatomy of eye and some important functions. We will discuss in detail the diseases and some problems of eye in the next lecture. I hope you have understood it. If you do, please like it, subscribe it, share with your friends, and also sometime can comment on it. Hopefully see you in the next lecture. Allah Hafiz. Bye.